What is up, everyone? Crunchy Frog here, and today Sledgehammer Games gave us our first look at some great information for the upcoming Modern Warfare 3 release, some info that they hadn't shared beforehand. So they put out like a big blog post, and I'll leave a link to the blog post in the description, basically detailing some of the game modes and maps and operators and stuff like that that will be coming on launch day. And there's some huge reveals here, so I wanted to cover them in a video. So like I said, if you want to read the entire blog post, the link will be down in the description. And obviously, if you enjoy this content, if you want to hear more about the release of Modern Warfare 3 and any news coming up with all of the live seasons, make sure to drop a like and drop that subscribe button there so that you can stay up to date with all the latest Modern Warfare 3 news here on the channel. So with that out of the way, let's dive in and see what all's coming. So the first thing they talk about in the blog post is basically going over all of the modes to expect on launch, and it seems pretty bare bones, right? You know, pretty what we expect every single year. Obviously, one of the biggest things they touched on was the 3v3v3, the cutthroat mode that we got to see in the beta. I personally am pretty excited for that one. I had a great time playing it in the beta, and I really look forward to playing that on launch. Obviously, maybe it'll get old at some point, but I had a lot of fun with it in beta, so looking forward to trying it out here as well. Then obviously they go on to say stuff like team deathmatch, domination, search and destroy, kill confirmed, free-for-all, hardpoint, and control. So again, pretty basic boilerplate type stuff that we see come out with every game. They did confirm that obviously war will be coming, which is kind of brought over from World War II, the video game, it sounds like. So it really sounds like they're just kind of putting that over to here, right? On a bigger map, you have objectives. One team kind of fights through the map, and the other one has to kind of defend it. Almost like a battlefield type game mode there. So they're bringing that back, and again, they go into a little better details later that we'll cover. So that's coming. Then obviously we have ground war and invasion on the big maps. That's 32v32. And finally, they do say that hardcore will be there on launch. So obviously with the release of Modern Warfare 2, we did not have a hardcore mode at launch, and we didn't even have the half-assed tier 1 game mode at launch. So we had none of that. So they just kind of dropped that on us, that we will have that right from launch. So I'm sure a lot of the community is happy about that. Everyone was furious whenever hardcore was not there launch day last year. So that's great. They also mentioned that they are bringing back the firing range for practice, so you can test out your builds, test out different gun attachments, stuff like that. I'm sure that'll help YouTubers such as Ace and Drifter and all those guys that make those really good in-depth guides. I'm sure that'll make their lives a million times easier, especially with the detailed stats that are confirmed to be coming to the gunsmith. Next up, they talked about the launch maps, you know, what we'll be getting, and obviously the main slate of maps will be the 16 remastered/remade Modern Warfare 2 2009 maps. So all of the launch maps from the original Modern Warfare 2, they've all been upscaled, you know, re-res, kind of redesigned a little bit there, and stuff like that. Again, we got to play 4 or 5 of them in the beta, but it will be launching with all 16. So pretty much every single thing that launched with the original Modern Warfare 2 will be there on launch day. They also go on to say there's 3 ground war maps called Levin Resort, Orlov Military Base, and Popov Power Station. Then they detailed a little more about the war mode and the war mode map. It is called Operation Spearhead, and basically it's a combination of the Orlov Military Ground War map and Kadarin Silo, if that's how you pronounce it, which, judging by the picture that they use in the blog post, it kind of looks like Countdown from COD 4. Now, obviously, that could just be a coincidence, right? Any missile launch facility like that is maybe going to look kind of like the map Countdown, if you guys remember that one from way back in COD 4. But it's something to maybe look into and look out for. I know they like to incorporate a lot of the old maps or portions of the old maps into the ground war / Warzone maps, so this might be something to look out for. Super cool, since we haven't really seen any remasters of that map besides the COD 4 remastered back in 2016. They describe the map as you needing to clear anti-aircraft defenses so that armored vehicles can be airdropped, staying close to the armor, and break through the launch site to set up missile overrides in this thrilling 6v6 battle. And that excerpt is directly from the blog post. That's how they describe it. They don't go into any more detail about it. Obviously, we'll probably have to wait till closer to launch or after launch to see more information on the war mode. And hopefully they bring a couple more maps like this throughout the seasons to give us a little more, for this game mode. I know they kind of gave up on war mode back in 2017 with World War II after a little bit, so hopefully the community really latches onto this and they're able to provide decent support for it. And then the big kind of news that they dropped, you'll probably see it in the thumbnail and the title of this video, is they are doing a carry forward system for the Modern Warfare 2 maps as well. So I talked about this briefly in a video that will be coming out here in a little bit, where I revisited my review of Modern Warfare 2 from last year, and I talked briefly at one point about the fact that I really wish that they were carrying maps over. They're carrying everything over, the guns, the operators, stuff like that, and I just kind of wish that they would just go the extra mile and just say, hey, we're bringing the maps over. And guess what? They are. The way that they describe it, quote, a number of fan favorite Modern Warfare 2 maps will gradually become available to play in Modern Warfare 3 throughout the live seasons. Now, they're going to start off, I assume, with Season 1 here with 4 maps. They only detail 3 of them, which is Farm 18, Mercado, and Shoot House. And they say, and another one. They didn't list what that other one was. But yeah, I assume that would be coming with Season 1. So kind of continuing on with that, they'll be coming in a dedicated playlist, which remains to be seen. I'm not sure if they mean that you can only play these maps in that playlist, or if they're just going to be added to the game as a whole and then also have their own dedicated playlist so you can kind of relive the glory days, so to speak, and just play those 4 maps from Modern Warfare 2, the 2022 version. Sorry, very confusing there. But yeah, so obviously then throughout the live seasons, more will follow. So they'll be grabbing more and more maps over from Modern Warfare 2. And then they say the maps are graphically identical, right? They're not upscaling it. They're not changing the theme. They're not adding hallways or anything. The maps are going to be identical. And with the games on the same engine, it's just going to be like you're playing Modern Warfare 2. But they did say they might play slightly better due to the movement, kind of tweaks and changes that they're bringing with Modern Warfare 3, including stuff like slide canceling, mantle speed, sprint out times, stuff like that. So hopefully these maps maybe even play better than they did this past year, and maybe some fan not so favorites become fan favorites with the new movement system. They also state that it's completely additive, which is incredible, because I was kind of worried at first whenever I read that headline, but they're completely additive, meaning they're not taking anything away from the live season offering, right? That is all still planned. They're still planning on 12 plus original maps. They said at least 12. I know they have 12 hardcore planned. I don't know if any other ones will sneak their way in that are coming in the live seasons. So we'll have the 16 Modern Warfare 2 2009 maps on launch. That'll be your launch roster, so to speak. And then they'll start grabbing maps from the last game, the 2020 COD 2022. They'll be bringing those in slowly, probably 3 or 4 per season, I would guess. And then they're also giving us 2 to 3 maps every single season as the seasons go on. So I fully expect by this time next year, we might be swimming in 30, 40 maps, depending on how everything shakes out, which is really good. And that's something I really wanted to see. If they're going to treat this like a glorified expansion, I know they keep saying it's not an expansion, but let's be honest with ourselves here. If they're going to be doing that, I really want to see, take full advantage of that. Grab content from both years, make almost like a mini COD online for the Modern Warfare universe and just grab everything over. Hell, I'd really like if they brought some of Modern Warfare 2019 maps back over and guns and stuff like that, just to fill it out and add to the content, especially since we're not getting a whole lot of brand new content on launch, at least not compared to past years. They did state that Cutthroat, the brand new 3v3v3 game mode, will not be available on these maps, however. And I'm just guessing that's based on spawn, and they kind of have to tweak certain things on the map to make it work with Cutthroat, and they're just not going to put in that effort on maps that they're essentially just porting over. So that was huge news. I'm super happy to hear that, and I think it is a net benefit for the game for sure. Next up, they did detail the operators that will be coming on launch. Now, obviously, we had 7 or 8 or something like that through the beta, but it will be launching with 25 brand new operators. I think one team has 13, one has 12, so pretty split down the middle there, which means in total, with all of the carry ahead ones from Modern Warfare 2, we should have upwards of 90 90 operators on launch, which I just think is absolutely insane. And they did say that the 25 new operators can all be unlocked via challenges in-game, or obviously the Activision special, the in-game store. So, clearly it'll probably be stuff like we saw in past iterations of COD, get 25 headshots with an LMG to unlock this guy, or you could buy this bundle wherein he looks like a Garfield cat and, for $20 and you'll unlock him that way. Stuff like that. The customization seems to be exactly as before. They detailed that you could change the skin, stuff like the finishing move, stuff like that, via that operator's menu. So pretty similar to Modern Warfare 2 and hell, the last 3 or 4 CODs, to be honest. And then finally, at the end of the blog post, they did detail that they'll be releasing a series of 6 blogs along the way to discuss certain stuff in a little more detail on the way up to launch, and I think even maybe past launch. So definitely check back to this channel. Like I said, make sure you're subscribed, because I will be making videos kind of outlining these blogs if there's sufficient information available in them. If it's some new stuff, some stuff that I want to cover for the channel. So definitely check back here as those get released, as we lead our way up to the release of Modern Warfare 3. And finally, one last thing that I wanted to bring up. It wasn't in this blog post, but a little earlier in the day, Call of Duty did tweet out the campaign rewards. So obviously, if you go to their Twitter, you'll be able to see that picture. It's kind of like a little, graphic that they made up. It looks like 4 of the operators for this year will be unlocked through doing the campaign. Looks like there's a weapon blueprint that they still have classified, so I'm not sure what that'll look like. And then we have about 4 calling cards. So nothing crazy. I would like to see maybe some cool weapon charms, or maybe some cool skins for some of these operators. But nonetheless, at the very least, it gives you some reason to play the campaign, and just dangles a little carrot on the stick for you there. So happy to see that. But yeah, that about wraps it up for all of the news. My personal thoughts on this, like I said, I'm super glad to hear that Modern Warfare 2 maps are coming into the game. Super confusing, because obviously the game is launching with Modern Warfare 2 maps, but a different Modern Warfare 2 setup. Anyway, you know what I mean. COD 2022 maps are coming into Modern Warfare 3, and I think that'll be great to just kind of bring everything up to speed. And like I said, make a mini COD Online at this point, of just an amalgamation of all of the Modern Warfare series games. And, hopefully that means a lot more content for us. Hopefully that means some maps don't get stale and repetitive and boring for us as well. Change it up and everything like that. And then finally, I am happy to see that they are giving us a lot of operators, even though, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter, right? I don't pay too much mind to the operators. I think it's great that there's more content. But the cynic in me is also saying that's just a way to get possibly 25 bundles in the store at any given time, on top of, obviously the 65 or 70 other operators that are already in Modern Warfare 2. So that's just insane. Having a roster of 90 playable operators, all with varying degrees of skins and cosmetics and stuff in the shop. I mean, this is going to be an absolute cash cow. Obviously, you guys know me. I will not be spending a single cent on this, and I encourage all of you to not do that as well. But, obviously, if you see something you like, who am I to stop you? So that about wraps it up, guys. Like I said, if you did enjoy this info, make sure to leave a like. It helps the channel immensely. And make sure you are subscribed with notifications on, so that you can stay up to date with all of the newest info as it comes live. So yeah, if they release anything else exciting, I'll be dropping another video for you guys. So until then, you all have a good one.